Good afternoon or evening, you guys. It's Mary. It is Sunday evening at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. And this is Stamps-N-Lingers. We'll be taking a look at a card that I made this past week. And it uses the Oh So Eclectic. Well, first of all, here's the card that we're going to make. You can see it's got quite a bit of embossing on it because I thought I would play with that this week. And there's the inside with the Oh So Eclectic stamp set in powder pink and lemon lime twist. And then, of course, the envelope as well. So let me take a quick gander at my computer to be sure that we're doing something. Hang on just a second. Well, it's doing something. Okay, there we go. Hi, Christina and Karen, and we got a lot of Karens. Hey, how are you all today? I'm so glad. Hey, Linda, thank you for joining me. As I was saying, we're going to be playing with Oh So Eclectic and the matching Eclectic Layers Thinlits. I just love this. You know, we have a lot of background stamps in Stampin' Up! Right now. But this is the one that has matching thinlits, and I think it's really fun. This is very reminiscent of the Special Reason and Stylish Stems thinlits that we had in the Occasions catalog that was really kind of a favorite of everybody. So we're going to do some embossing today, and instead of using the masks that are part of the embossing group, I'm going to make stencils with thick cardstock and some of our little dies here. So we will get to that in just a hot second. We will also be making a sentiment with the Banners for You stamp set and the matching bunch of banners. So let us get started, and I'm going to set this aside where I can see it. I made this card a little bit ago, so hopefully I won't forget how to make it and look like a complete and total fool. Okay, so let me just do a quick check here. Yep, okay. Hey, Beth. Hey, Beth, how are you today? Glad that you were able to join. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. Here's our card cuts. Obviously, we have a Whisper White envelope. I have a 2.5 inch by 3.25 inch piece of Whisper White, and that is the center art panel. And it has a mat that is 1/8 of an inch bigger all the way around, so 2 5/8 by 3 3/8. I have a piece of the Naturally Eclectic DSP, one of my favorites. We won't use this side because that would look bad. And it is our normal card front size. So, hey Jean, hi Judy, glad you could come on. It's our normal card size, so that means it's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And I have the exact same size piece of Whisper White cardstock for the inner liner. I've got 2 powder pink mats at 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I have a card base landscape. So y'all yell at me if I try to make the inner liner portrait, okay? Hey, Robbie, how are you tonight? This is thick Whisper White cardstock for the card base, and it is 5.5 by 8.5 and scored and folded at 4 1/4. I'm going to stick that away out of my way so I don't screw that up. And the first thing we're going to do is cut us a couple of stencils using our Eclectic Layers Thinlits, all right? Now I have a piece of spare thick Whisper White cardstock. I think you could probably also use the window sheets, that heavy-duty plastic, but I didn't bring any with me, so I am using thick Whisper White cardstock. So the first thing I'll do is I'm going to cut this stencil out, and I'll probably cut, while I'm at it, a couple of these little flowers and some of these little other flowers. So let's get Mr. Big Shot over here and start making some stencils. I hope you guys are having a great weekend, or had a great weekend. Sadly, it's almost over. But just so you know, this is probably my last video from Florida. With any luck, God willing, and the creek don't rise, I will be on my way home. Hopefully no later than the weekend. I'm hoping maybe I can get out of here on Thursday or Friday even. All right, so we're gonna do a couple times through the Big Shot just to be sure I've got a good cut. All right, here we go. And I may need to make another one. The downside of using cardstock as your stencil is that the embossing paste is pretty wet. It's very moist, and so it does kind of eat up your cardstock a little bit. So I'm going to tidy up here just a second, people. Hang on. Just so I can fool y'all into thinking I'm just such a tidy crafter, because I'm so not. That is just not me. I am not a tidy crafter. All right, and I'm going to poke out my little pieces here. Oh, Karen, I think he will be. I don't think there's going to be any wiggler left by the time he gets through wiggling all of it. I think Finn may be almost as excited to see me as I am to see him. I'm ready. One of my regrets is that Wayne wasn't able to come down while I was here and bring him, because I really did want to see him play on the beach. I thought that would be pretty darn cool. Figured he'd have a good time with that. All right, there we go. Get these out the way. I always think there must be something I should do with all these little diamonds, but I never do. Okay, so we are going to start with the card front stenciling, which is on the DSP itself. And for this stencil, I did not color the embossing paste. You'll see I did color, used a little bit of powder pink for some of the flowers and a little bit of lemon lime twist. But on the card front, I just used it white. And I made myself a few little palettes to do my mixing and whatnot. Except now I've lost all of my cardstock. Hang on a minute. All right. Here it is. Here, it's going to be here somewhere. I'm pretty sure of it. Here we go. All right. And if you are in a hurry when you're embossing, you might want to have your heat tool around. Now, I'm not going to use a palette for this because I'm just using straight up white embossing paste, okay? Are dogs allowed on the beach? I don't know. I think I've seen pictures of them, and it's possible that there's, you know, just one or two beaches where you can take dogs, but I don't know for certain. I would have had to research that if he was coming down. Hi, Paula. Glad to see you. Our weather here has been crazy. Not all over the place. It's just been clear in the morning and hot, and then about mid-afternoon, the rain comes in. So we can kind of count on that. All right, so all I'm going to do is place my little stencil, sort of making sure it's kind of straight. And I'm just going to pick up a little bit of, I'm just going to pick up a little bit of the paste and smear it right across my stencil. Just like that. And I didn't make it very thick. Kind of let that bottom color shine through there a little bit. Pick it up like so, and then pick up my stencil. Okay, now I'm going to wipe off as much of the embossing paste dries pretty quickly, folks, so you want to clean your tools as you go along. I'll let that sit, and then I'm just going to take and cut off this part of the stencil because I don't need it again. I consider this not really reusable. So here's a little anecdotal evidence that it's not reusable. When I first made this card, I tried to use this stencil 3 or 4 times. And what ended up happening is, I think probably the cardstock edges here started to break down because of the moisture, and so I was getting embossing paste outside my stencil, and that really wasn't what I wanted to do. So now I'm going to throw this one away, and I'm going to set this aside to dry all by its lonesome for a minute. And the next thing I'm going to make is my art panel. So you'll see I'm going to be coloring some powder pink for this flower and some lemon lime twist for this flower. And this is going to be very scientific, people. But I didn't want it to be very dark, either piece. So let's be sure I don't try to mix embossing paste on my art panel. All right. So first off, let's do the pinky one. The pinky one. That's kind of drying right there. So I'm just going to put, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. So here's the thing. I'm also, while I have powder pink made, I'm going to make this flower right here. And this is simply the same flower, but it's on a separate piece of cardstock, and I'm going to use thick cardstock for it. And then when it's dry, I'm going to cut it out with the die. So we're going to just make some powder pink right here. Close this back up. Yes, ma'am, that's right. I don't have to wash it when I make the stencil all by myself. You are so right. All right, going with the theory that I can add color, but I cannot really take it away, I'm going to start with 1 drop of powder pink, because I really kind of wanted pale. I was going for subtle on this one. You can see I got a little stingy with my cardstock palette. Sorry. But we'll get, I think that'll be pretty close to being enough, and that's about the color I want. So we're going to quick like a bunny. This is my art panel piece. I'm going to just put, I'll put a flower, how about right there? Let's get rid of that dot right there. Okay. I'll put a flower right there in powder pink. Just pick it up. Give it a smear. And pick it right up and set that aside. And then I'm going to make another flower on the heavy cardstock and give that a good smear. Obviously, the thinner that you make it, the quicker it will dry. But we're going to help it with our heat tool here in just a second. Pick that right up. There we go. Okay, so you can see it makes a pretty little flower. It's quite obviously a flower, even without an outline. So we'll start to get that going. And then I'm going to do a little cleanup before I have concrete on my palette knife. All right, yes, follow the 4 p.m. showers, except they've been coming at about 2 every day. Every day. But the nice thing is it cools it off beautifully. And so then afterwards, for 3 or 4 hours, my guys are working in nice weather. All right, now I'm going to stamp. Well, first of all, let me do a little thing. I'm going to go ahead and dry this a little bit with my heat tool, okay? So I'm going to not talk much while I've got this thing blowing, because there doesn't seem to be much point. Pretend the Jeopardy music is playing. Okay. All right. There you go. And it's dry. All right. Okay. Now, we're going to mix a little bit of lemon lime twist embossing. And I don't need as much of it because I'm only doing little flowers. All right. Now, I saw a cool thing on Patty Bennett's website today, and I'm going to try this. She made bricks with the brick mask and this embossing paste, and she used Cajun Craze. Why is my hand wet? Cajun Craze ink And then she added gold Stampin' Glitter to the embossing powder, and that was quite a cool, quite a cool effect. I liked it a lot. So I'm going to try that one of these days, but not today. I learned a long time ago, showing horses, you never change equipment when you're going into the show ring. So I'm not going to be changing up what I do for this card when I have y'all online watching, because sure as shooting, I'll screw it up. All right, so here we go. So we're going to put a little bit of green flour. Make sure I'm right about there. Pick that up and give that a good smear. All right. And wipe off the back of my high-end stencil real quick. See if I can do that again without getting embossing powder everywhere. We'll put it right there. This isn't embossing powder. Why would I have said that? All right, we'll get that on and get that up quick like a bunny. And that's good enough. You can see I've got some between it. Sometimes you can get it to pick up, but sometimes not so much. So I'm gonna not head up about it because I'm kind of gonna cover it with the rest of my stuff. All right, so there's that. Throw away my expensive palette. Clean off my palette knife a little bit. Hey Karen, good. You are gonna like this. You are gonna like this embossing paste. It was a great addition to our catalog. And I do believe I am done with the embossing paste, and so I'm going to toss away my next stencil. All right, get rid of that. Alrighty. All right, now put this aside. It can dry for a minute. Hang tight for the sound of the heat tool again. I want to get this done before I cut it. It doesn't cut nicely through the Big Shot if it's wet. Kind of gets all smushy. All right, there we go. Okay. And since we're gonna have the Big Shot out, why don't I go ahead and make us a sentiment right quick like a bunya. All right. Okay, so this is the Banners for You stamp set, and I'm using this banner for you. See what I did there? Okay. And then I'm going to stamp the outside border. Yep, you do need a palette knife. I'm sure you can get palette knives, Susan, at places other than Stampin' Up, but you don't want to try to use like a knife because this bends, and so it lets you bend down into the stencil a little bit, and it makes it a lot easier to mix as well. So what I'm doing here is I'm just stamping my banner on a scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock in Lemon Lime Twist, like so. And then I'm going to use Emerald Envy. I almost used Garden Green, which is not the correct color. No, it isn't. Not the correct color. To stamp Thank You from the same set. And I'm going to bend it up a little bit so that it kind of follows the line of the of this banner. So just a little bit, not very much. It's not a very long sentiment, so it's not like it's going to bend, you know, big time. But I'm giving it just a little bit of a curve. Just a little bit of a curve. There's not even hardly any curve. Okay, that'll be good enough. And we're going to stamp that in Emerald Envy right about there, like so. And then I will cut it out with this matching banner. Okay, here we go. You put this aside and pull Mr. Big Shot back into the field of view. And get these out. You can see, apparently one of my next purchases will be another set of cutting plates because, you know, this one's getting a little raggedy. All right, and I'm gonna put that like that, and then I'm gonna put a sticky note on there, folks, so that I can hold it in place and make sure it doesn't go cattywampus while I'm cutting. Since, as I've mentioned in the past, I left my magnetic platform in Atlanta. Have I mentioned I'm going home? I might have mentioned that a couple of times. I'm so ready. You know, that's what I was telling my guys is, tell me I'm going to be here till the middle of August. Good, I'm here. I'm ready to stay the whole time. But tell me I'm going home and I'm ready to get to the house. I'm ready to get to the house. And that is where I'm at, because we've been talking about going home now since about Thursday. Karen, that's a good point that you can get those for $7 on eBay or Amazon. But if I buy them from Stampin' Up, I do get my discount and it counts towards my sales. So that is what I will do. All right, so there is our banner cut out. I'll set that over aside, and then I'm going to cut, yeah, he's dry enough. I'm going to use the border die from the Eclectic Layers Thinlits to cut out my flower. Let's get him lined up correctly, like that. Pull my sticky note back into service. Like that. Move it over a little bit. There we go. And yeah. See, these are the things you got to think about, Miss Karen. All right. There we go. All right, there we go. All right. Now, I believe I'm done with the big shot, so let me get him out of the way. There's a question. I just said, let me get him out of the way. Do y'all have, you know, pronouns for your big shots? I don't know. Are your big shots girls? Are they boys? Mine apparently is a boy. I did not realize it until just then, but apparently it's a boy, big shot. Actually, I think he's a boy if he's, you know, being a little persnickety, you know. All right, set that aside. And now I think we are pretty close to ready to assemble. I'm going to give this a little hit with the, heat tool so that I don't smush it when I'm getting it ready to adhere. And the DSP is going to bend a little bit between the moisture of the embossing paste and the heat of the heat tool. So be sure to give it a little hit on the back to kind of counter that. And that should be close enough. That'll be close enough for government work. Okay, so we're going to use a little fast fuse. And we're going to put this onto its powder pink mat. We're pretty much done with all of the, you can't see me do air quotes, but all of the hard pieces. And so now we're really, truly just into assembly phase now. So here we go. So this goes onto its, and of course this is the easy part, and so I will screw it up. Okay, so I'm gonna stop talking for just a second so that I can hold my mouth just right to get that on there like it should be. Okay, there we go. Okay. Then I'll turn it over and give it a little rub. I heard somebody, Paula, called their big shot Big Bertha. So apparently their big shot was a girl. Unless it's like a boy named Sue and it was a boy named Bertha, which just seems weird. Okay. All right, hang on 1 second, you guys. I got to turn my air conditioner back on. Okay. I'm having a love-hate relationship with my air conditioner these days. Okay, so next up is a piece of lemon lime twist, 1/2-inch finely woven ribbon. This is about 4.5 inches long, a little bit less. And I've cut one end on kind of a point. And so what I'm gonna do is just use a little bit of, where is it, liquid glue. And I'm gonna put it just under the part where it's behind the artwork, okay? Because sometimes you can't see liquid glue, but sometimes you can. I'm gonna put it right about there, about 1/3 of the way up the card. Okay, like so. And then I'm going to snail my art piece that I've lost. Here it is. Are we dry? Ooh, not dry. See what I almost did there? If I had turned that over to put the fast fuse on it, I'd have had smeared it everywhere. It does take a second. You can see, I hope you can hear me, you can see that my lemon lime twist embossing paste, I was a little, you know, generous with it, so it's taking it a second to dry. So I'm gonna let it, I'm gonna get it a good hit with the heat tool. That ought to be. I'm having a difficult time wanting to use my share package. I gotcha. It is just pretty, isn't it? I love all those ribbons when they all, I don't particularly like wrapping all those ribbons, but I like how they look when they're all wrapped up. Okay, so that's done. I'm going to put a little fast fuse on the back of him. Apparently all of my stuff is male today. Why is that? I don't know. Okay. There we go. And snail him to his little mat. I keep saying snail. You see I'm using fast fuse, so you know what I mean. Listen to what I mean, not what I say. Okay. And we'll give that a little push. Yeah, that's good. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to take some dimensionals. Well, yes, Linda, the share package is pretty good. Just so you know, I will be doing a holiday catalog share for ribbon and embellishments and paper. So y'all be watching for that. I'll probably announce the shares, let's say middle of August, take payments the 3rd week in August, and then order everything on the 1st of September. And then I'll get it all out as quick as I can. All right, here we go. So we're popping this on with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Hi, Kathy Lou from Southern California. I'm glad you could join us. Okay, here we go. All right, so we're just gonna pop this on about like so. See? Do you see where we're going with this? Okay. Now, next up is when do you get to see the holiday catalog? Okay, so here's how it's gonna work. So here's a fun thing. You guys are gonna get a sneak peek at a little something we like to call the Carols of Christmas bundle. And customers are going to be able to sneak peek order that. Yes, you heard me right. Order it starting the 1st of August. Okay, so let me not get too distracted here because I gotta breathe. Okay, I need a mini Stampin' Dimensional. Here we go. So hang tight, Susan. I'll finish answering that question. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this flower, that's called a flower, Mary. I'm going to put this flower right here. But since this is popped up on dimensionals, I need to support this left side of the flower with its own little dimensional. So I'm going to just stick that right there like so. Okay. And peel off the back. Okay. All right, there we go. And then I'm just going to lay him right there like so. Where's it, Mr. Dimensional? There we go. Okay. So anyway, you guys are going to be able to order the Carols of Christmas bundle, which includes the card builder, the card front builder framelits, and you will be able to order those for the entire month of August. The holiday catalog themselves will probably mail out for you folks that are my customers who will be on the mailer, the catalog mailer. Those mail out the first week in September. No, that's not right. The catalog goes live the first week in September, so you should be getting those in August. And you can start ordering on 1 September. And I personally can hardly wait. I think that's going to be so fun. All right, the next thing up is a piece of, you guys love the shimmer ribbon. I love the shimmer ribbon. It is so pretty in powder pink and pool party and black. The black one is one of my favorites, but we're going to use powder pink here today. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one mini dimensional under the very end, because it's going to be supported, because it's kind of hanging out there all by its lonesome. And then I'm going to use snail along this side. I don't want to use liquid glue because I am pretty certain the liquid glue will be visible through that ribbon, and that is always a disappointment to get to this stage of a card and discover you've got liquid glue showing. So ever so carefully, I'm just going to run some fast fuse right along that piece of ribbon. And then of course you got to be careful, because once you put fast fuse down, it's there. Okay, here we go. Now, I do not wish you guys to miss out if you have ever thought about being a hobby demo or a business demo, any kind of demo. This is so the right time to do it. That essentials pack is huge, people. That's $72 worth of stuff for free on top of the already great deal. Okay, so here we go. You can see what I want it to do is extend a little past this first ribbon, and I want it to overlap that flower, and also straight would be good. Straight would also be good. And I'm pulling it a little snug, and there we go. There we go. Okay. Ba-boom! Bing, bada boom, bada bing, bang, boom. I just made that up. Okay. Here we go. And the very final part of this is, are you ready? We're going to add our banner, and I'm going to do it with some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I've got a long strip of dimensional. Whoa. Well, I thought it sounded like some more thunder. We had rain and thunder early this morning. When I got up, it was raining and thundering. I'm just going to make a strip of that, like that, and put it on the back of my banner, like a so, just like a so, like a that. You'll see how I'm doing that. You guys remember Mrs. Wiggins from the Carol Burnett show? Yeah, that was who I was channeling right there. Okay, and then this is gonna go right about, is that straight? Close enough for government work. Right about there. And that, people, is the card front right there. I like it. I like it. I think I'm gonna keep it. I got a little bit of a smear, but you know, it's a handmade card. So now I'm gonna set that aside. And we will move inside. You can see what I've done there is I have just stamped a couple of the flowers from the Oh-So Eclectic stamp set in powder pink and lemon lime twist. So let's go ahead and do that. And while I have all of those things out, let me move some stuff out of the way. I will also stamp my envelope because I'm going to be so efficient. I'm just so efficient I can't stand myself. Okay, we need that stamp, this stamp. It's right in front of me, isn't it, people? What am I even looking for? Oh yes, this stamp, right there. Okay, jeez. Jeez. She's a weird one. Okay, I'm losing it now. Yep, all the free goodies is the perfect time to join, Karen. You done good. You did done good, girl. Yeah, you did. All right, now I'm gonna start with this little doodah in lemon lime twist. I'm gonna stamp the outline image in straight up lemon lime twist ink. And then I will stamp his filler in Stamped Off Once lemon lime ink. And I could get all head up and get my Stamp-A-Majig out, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna make it be kind of messy looking because I like it like that. I really actually think that's what it's supposed to do. So I'm gonna repeat that, rinse and repeat. Okay folks, it's okay, don't be scared, but I've kind of lost it. Okay. I'm going off on these little riffs of I don't know what. All right, stamp it off once and give it a stamp like that. And then we'll take those off so I can use my D blocks. My D blocks, the perfect size block, one of the free blocks in the Essentials pack. Put this away, pull out Miss Powder Pink, and we're gonna stamp the larger flower outline. Let me do the inner liner first, and we're just gonna kind of put her right there like that. Different every time, that's why it's called a handmade card. And then we'll stamp this, and let me double check. I think I might have done this one straight up. Yes, you did. You can also mention that you joined my wonderful team, and I thank you for it. Okay, that looks like Stamped Off Once, so we're going to do that as well. Okay, and we're going to stamp it off once, and then we're going to line it up sort of like it's supposed to be. Stamp it off once, and line it up like it's supposed to be. And then we'll do the same on the envelope. Miss Powder Pink, it just makes sense. Mr. Lemon Lime Twist, Miss Powder Pink. Yes, I can stereotype with the best of them. Yes, I can. All right, and then I think we want one right there. Yeah. And we'll finish these off, stamping off once, and a little bit of fill. Let's see. Yeah, close enough. Okay, there's the envelope, and that is done. Okay, good. So the inside is now officially stamped. You think it happens when I become my own entertainment? Yes, yes, that's quite possibly true. I've kind of lost it just a little bit. All right, and then we'll use a little fast fuse right quick like a bunny and get that on its powder pink mat, which is obviously a she. And here we go. Whoops. Like that mattered. It mattered to me right then. Okay, there we go. Alrighty. And then we will put this in our thick, come here now. Come here now. This is now a he. And you know why, because it was being persnickety. Okay. And we'll put it inside our thick Whisper White card base. Like so. And then I'm going to pop my card front on with Stampin' Dimensionals. because it's not overly thick. I mean, it's a little thick, but not too bad. So, did you guys know they made 70-cent stamps? I did not know that. I discovered that the other day at the post office, and apparently, even my thick envelope, it was less than 2 ounces, and so it went for 70 cents. So 70 cents is good up to a 2-ounce card. And to be quite honest, she felt it. She went like that on the card and she said, "Now what is in there?" And I said, "It's just a handmade card." And she said, "Okay, 70 cents, and put the 2 70-cent stamps on my 2 cards, and we rock and roll." Needless to say, I went out of there with a big old sheet of 70-cent stamps, because that was good information. Up to 2 ounces is 70 cents. Huh. Cray cray. All right, here we go. I'm gonna put this on. You can tell, maybe you can tell, I was playing with the stamping paper challenge that was calling for green, pink, and embossed, and I got all of them. Yes, 70-cent stamps, Stevie, Robbie, so go ahead and be getting you some of those. And there is our card, and our envelope is almost done. I'm going to use another piece of the Naturally Eclectic. Yes, this is right off the same piece that I used to cut my card front. You can see it's got that pretty watercolor wash, so it's all different. I like that. We're gonna just put this on the envelope flap like we've done everything. Were they butterflies? They might have been butterflies. Might have been butterflies. I don't remember now. All right, so here we're just gonna use a little bit of liquid glue right along the edge of my envelope flap, like so. There's Mrs. Wiggins again. Go away, Mrs. Wiggins. Okay, there we go. Give that a good rub. And then we'll trim that off. Fussy cutting along the edges there. Like so. Bada boom! There we go. Now, the truth of the matter is, I'm going to fix that because, no, I'm not. So here's the thing. I don't know if you can see it. My paper wasn't quite as deep as my envelope flap, but here is a thing I do. Almost always when I mail one of these, I use a piece of washi tape across here, even after I have licked the yummy tasting adhesive strip. I always put a little piece of washi tape because it's pretty, and because it helps to hold the card closed, the envelope closed. So there you go, people. The new embossing paste, plain old white, colored with lemon lime twist, and colored with powder pink, and one each thank you card. So I hope you have enjoyed it. Gotta fix that, that's bugging me. You know what that is? That is a little extra glop of fast fuse. Get your sticky self in there. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay. Now I'll be able to sleep tonight. Phew. Okay, so there we go. I hope you enjoyed it, and I do hope that you are getting the embossing powder. It's paste. It's still paste. It will be paste all night and all day tomorrow. Hope you get the embossing paste, and if you are not a demonstrator, now's the time, people. Now is the time. $70 in free stuff. Jeez. All right. See you next time. Thank you for joining me. Night.